Hi, Elliot Bruns, Deloitte Consulting Supply Chain Practice. AI is kind of it's the question of our day, isn't it, or of our time? And I find myself really trying to figure out, okay, there's hype here, and at the same time, there's going to be a long-term impact. I mean, AI has certainly come of age. And I think although it's really hard to see where those intersections, those specific impacts are going to be, I think there's little doubt that it will be a force multiplier for planners in particular. And you might argue that AI has been around a long time. It has, but it's certainly reached a certain point now where I think we're all starting to see the accessibility of the tools and the applicability of the tools, and we're kind of working through how to use those. But again, like for a planner, the ability to be a force multiplier, and I think Andrew showed that nicely this morning when he showed Maestro and some of the AI-enabled scenario planning that I thought was excellent. And I think, planners have an opportunity, or at least I think of AI as this is my Iron Man. AI is not going to replace me, but I think of it as Iron Man. It is my suit. It is what makes me all powerful, what takes Tony Stark from being just a person to a superhero. And I think that analogy is kind of loosely applicable, maybe a little bit dramatic. But how can planners really evolve and take really use of these tools? If I think about the industry, we've had 20, 30 years of moving to a control tower type of capability where the planners see all these things going wrong. It's like, okay, fix them, right? That's not easy. And now in scenario planning, it's like, well, planners now get to worry about all these things that could go wrong, and they can worry today about all the future, but they still have to figure out, okay, how to go fix that. So I think like the next generation of AI in supply chain should be that first step after many, many years of saying, okay, here's how you go fix all this complexity and all these disruptions happening. So I find that very exciting. So I think part of the supply chain talent challenge is just like the broad-based nature of it. It's a chain, you're linked to other business processes. So obviously being able to collaborate with your business function peers outside of your immediate area, I think that's really important. I think that's always been important. And I think and just great knowledge of the business, the customers, the suppliers, internal operations, how to get things done, all that stuff you kind of pick up on the job. All those things are important. Analytical skills, I think, again, for many, many years have been important as well. And what I think the evolution is these days, 10 years ago, like analytics and data science start moving into the space. So being able to understand at least how to apply it, how to understand, or how to leverage those capabilities, super important. And I think kind of the continued pace is how do you continue to embrace that innovation? And again, AI has some opportunities there for people in the supply chain to understand where these tools apply, where you still might be on the bleeding edge. I think all those things are really important. It's not an easy role, but I think it's a lot of fun because it does allow you to use a lot of different skills. A holistic, orchestrated approach. It often requires coming to some negotiated agreement with your downstream transportation organization, your upstream procurement organization. But I think really embracing kind of how do we want to define these processes globally? What are those standards? Where do we allow for some variation? I think that's the best way to get started, because I think when technology is done well, it's the process enabler, right, or the process enforcer. So if you can get most of the process right, then you can kind of transition to technology, and I think you ultimately get to where you're asking. Yeah, so in Kinaxis, I give great props. You've been around for many, many years, 40 actually. So that level of endurance and kind of the maturity that customers recognize in the market I think is unique. And your leadership and innovation has also been unique as well. Rapid response is a concept we've been around for quite a while and was very thought leading and still is. So, and if you look at Gartner, and your consistency in that Magic Quadrant is unique. So again, I give Kinaxis high props for doing both of those. A bit of a commercial. So, Deloitte, we want to be kind of supply chain excellent. We want to solve the world's most complex supply chain problems. So I think it's a very natural partnership from that perspective. We want to work with technology that's robust, improving, and at the same time is innovative. And you guys have done a wonderful job of combining both of those, and we're happy to partner with you.